Have you ever heard someone say sly as a fox or wily as a coyote? Coyote. Sly and wily are adjectives describing cleverness and intelligence. Foxes, wolves, and coyotes belong to the class of intelligent animals we call canines, which are in the Canidae family. The jackal and the domesticated dog, man's best friend of course, are also in this family. We can all agree that an animal would have to be pretty smart to be man's best friend. Dogs save children from burning buildings, rescue drowning people, lead the blind, find people lost in the woods, catch animals, and so much more. The family Canidae seems very diverse, and yet all the dogs in this family are the same kind. The tiny teacup Chihuahua, the enormous English Mastiff, and the timberwood wandering the countryside are all the same basic kind of creature. Let's take a look at canine teeth. There we have the incisors in the front, the canine tooth that they all have on the side, the premolars and the molars that help with the chewing and the grating of the food. What are dogs like? If you have one, you already know that dogs like to be with people. With few exceptions, canines crave companionship. That's because dogs are pack animals. They need a leader and prefer to live in groups. The social behavior of most dogs resembles that of a wolf, and even a domesticated dog would behave a lot like a wolf if they were left behind. One dog, usually a male, is the leader, called the alpha male. The alpha male has a mate that is second in command. These two leaders, the alpha male and the alpha female, are called the dominant pair, and they are the only dogs allowed to have puppies. The female digs a large hole in the ground called a den, where she gives birth to her pups, and the entire pack helps to take care of them. Each dog has a position in the pack from greatest to least, and a dog quickly learns who is above who, and sometimes they fight to be above someone else. In addition to leaving their scent around the territory, dogs also communicate through body postures and facial expressions. It's easy to tell when a dog is feeling aggressive, fearful, playful, or submissive. For example, it's a sign of aggression when a dog stands tall with its ears picked up and its head held high. It also will bare its teeth and erect the fur along its spine to appear bigger. It might even give a threatening growl or an angry bark. A submissive, frightened canine lowers its body, flattens its ears, and tucks in its tail and closes its mouth, whimpering or silent. It may roll onto its back and lay there, exposing its belly. This is a very submissive position because it's exposing the most sensitive area of its body. If you see a dog roll over on his back, exposing his belly when he meets you, that means he believes you are dominant, above him in the pack. When dogs want to play, they raise their rear and lower their forelegs in a kind of bow. This posture says, "I'm ready to play." Most canines are muscular. Their legs are strong and powerful for hunting and running. They actually walk on their toes, 4 toes on each paw. So each toe has its own pad to absorb the shock from the ground and make it easier to get traction. Animals that walk on their toes are called digitigrades, and this gives them the ability to run swiftly. Many animals have a 5th toe, usually on the 2 front legs, but it doesn't touch the ground. Compared to other carnivores, canine claws are not very sharp. All canines in the wild have long, pointed jaws with fang-like canine teeth used to kill prey. Let's start with wolves, Canis lupus. These amazingly smart animals form packs of about 10 dogs, claiming large pieces of territory that span hundreds of miles. They mark the boundaries with their scents and are like police on patrol, continually covering the area over and over to make certain no intruder wolves come near. Wolf howls can be heard up to 6 miles away, and even further away by other packs of wolves. They howl to warn other packs of their presence and to define their territory. Although they howl, wolves rarely bark. Not really, rarely, like not often. They do not often bark. Though many species of wolves are in danger of becoming extinct, coyotes, Canis latrans, are thriving. Unlike wolves, coyotes do not need a large area of solitary land. They started hunting the kind of animals found near cities like rats, moles, and even stray pets. We call this mode of living opportunistic. As night hunters, coyotes can form small packs, but they often hunt alone. When a coyote finds small prey like a rat, it stands still with its legs stiff, watching and listening. And then, when the moment is right, it leaps straight up in the air and brings its front feet down on the tiny animal, pinning it to the ground before biting it. This is the typical coyote pounce. Some domesticated dogs play this way. When coyotes find larger prey, like a deer, the whole pack is needed to bring it down. They typically take turns chasing the animal until it tires and becomes an easy kill. The red fox, vulpes, is another opportunistic canine. Red foxes can eat anything, including fruit, but they really prefer small animals like mice and rabbits. Unlike many canines, the red fox does not generally travel or hunt in packs. Instead, it's usually a solitary animal pouncing on small prey, much like the coyote does. Since red foxes do eat plant parts like fruit from time to time, they are technically omnivores, even though they are part of the order Carnivora. Jackals. For some reason, the jackal seems eerie to many people. It is mentioned 19 times in the Bible, usually in reference to wastelands or wilderness. Jackals are often the villain in comics or movies, and I guess it's no wonder. Their howls sound more like shrieks that frighten both adults and children. They are associated with evil and death, probably because they tend to pick over the remains of other animals' food. Like foxes and coyotes, they are opportunistic carnivores that can live near or even in cities. They look a lot like small wolves with really big ears. They can only be found in Africa, parts of Asia, and a small part of Europe. There are no jackals in North or South America. Dingoes. It's thought by many Australians that dingoes arrived on their shores thousands of years ago, brought by Indonesian travellers who kept them as pets while fishing the Australian waters. Even though they are considered a subspecies of domesticated dog, Canis familiaris dingo, they are wild dogs. In fact, they are the only wild dogs in Australia. They are a feared predator in Australian wild. A dingo's colour is determined by where it lives. Golden yellow dingoes are found in sandy areas, while dark black and tan dingoes are found in the forest. Can you think of why this may have happened? The raccoon dog. Is it a raccoon or a dog? This crazy creature that lives only in Japan is oddly both. It looks just like a raccoon, eats the same food as a raccoon, is nocturnal like a raccoon, and doesn't even bark. Unlike other canines, it doesn't claim territory. To top it all, it even climbs trees. So how do we know it's not a strange species of raccoon? Well, the raccoon dog has the feet of a dog, not the hand-like appendages of a raccoon. It can't hang by its feet like a raccoon can. It also has the same teeth that dogs have. In the end, it is simply a dog that looks outlandishly like a large raccoon. The painted wolf, as the African wild dog Lycaon pictus is often called, is the most social of all the canines. These beautifully colored dogs live in packs of 6 to 20. It is helpful to hunt in a pack when they are hunting the wildebeest zebra and the impalas that cross the plains in Africa. These large-eared dogs have a small head, long, colorful legs, and only 4 toes on each foot.
That's all, folks.